He's one of the dopest engineers in the game. The head engineer exclusively for Prodigy of Mobb Deep. 10 Prodigy of Mobb Deep albums. The Hegelian Dialectic. The Book of Revelation.
It's a pleasure, man. That body of work is crazy. I mean,
Joe the engineer. Now we do this shit, nigga.
333. That's a sign from the heavens. Just look up in the heavens.
Yo, what the fuck is up, everybody? It's time to talk about some football and smoke some weed. Although, I forgot that I need to go get blunts, and I've only got 2 for today's episode, which is unheard of. So, I might cut this one a little bit short, to be perfectly honest with you. Anyway, I am me, y'all are you. It is time to talk about some football with the homies. I just sent out the Zoom invite, so we'll see whenever my esteemed co-host, Nice, if he decides to show up. Roger Harper, congrats on the grandchild, homie. And Carrie decided to grace us with their presence. Excuse me. Until then, I'm going to roll this blunt and listen to some beats. That's what we always do until Carrie shows up. Now, usually, when I do this, is when he does show up. So, I kind of feel it's like causation and effect. Without the causation, there is no effect. Shit like that. You know what I mean, man? So, where were we at? We'll just go here.
You know, you know. Hey, hey, yeah. Yeah. I, I gotta tell you, like being on Skype, I really saw how terrible my lighting was. So I decided to just go ahead. I have the equipment. Let me use it. Let me look. Let me look lit up while I'm getting lit. Hmm. Plus, I didn't wear my normal uniform today because it's getting chilly outside. It's time to picking that thing up for sure. Love it. Apparently, they experience this in San Diego all the time. That sweet fall. Yeah. Mhm. Yes. Right. Yo. Yeah. Is it? Yeah. This might be the first year of a new year. I gotta start thinking of things in a different way. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll say this because I definitely picked Miami, and for me, the logic was easy. It was two fronts. I knew the secondary for the Bills was banged up, and I also knew they had to go down to Miami. So I was like, with that speed, also, I was like, feel like maybe they could just outlast them. I've never seen, like, I had to really think about the scene at the end of the game where Josh Allen's head with Tua is consoling. The opposing quarterback is consoling. I've never seen that. And I think the only quarterback in the league who you could do that with is Tua. Because Tua is just a nice guy like that. Other quarterback like, you better get your crying ass. They would have clowned him. Tua's the only one who would not. Yeah. That was incredible team. Yeah. They learned nothing from Dallas at the end of games last year in the playoffs. They now I also well did I pick Jacksonville? I may have. Oh, you switched it. See, because we were thinking the same way. I was like, I think Jacksonville, like me believing what I'm saying about Jacksonville, and they're showing it currently so far in 3 weeks. I said they were not going to be an easy out, and they were going to give teams that were going to come up and give teams who you wouldn't expect for them to give them problems. And not only did they give them problems, I mean, they smacked them. Mm-hmm. Yep, I knew it. Getting linked up with the head coach, I was like, Trevor's gonna. They got a great mix of just those vets who have always been number twos or maybe even number threes on other teams, but especially number twos or borderline number ones on other teams, going that Marvin Jones Jr., who's always just been a solid, consistent player throughout, always. The other, yeah, they got the other Jones. Very similar career. Let me tell you something. Arizona misses Christian Kirk. He just can't get it together. I will say this though. Also, we gotta give Doug Peterson. I can call him Dougie Fresh Peterson now. Now that he's out of Philly, now I can show him some real proper love. We got to give Dougie Fresh Peterson some love because homie can coach. And so what do we see? We saw him go up against Frank Reich, his former, who was on his staff when he was in Philly, and go up against a guy who we know we already don't trust in the Chargers head coach. So like that alone is going to not only keep Jacksonville in games, but probably take them over the hump just because of the Dougie Fresh Peterson factor. Especially when he's going up against these John Madden coaches. It's rookie season. I mean, come on. Yep. Killing it. Multiple. Like, oh yeah, he did. He did. He looked so good. In fact, I went to the wires, and I was, hmm. Oh, it is. It is. Like two is already gone in any league of note. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Say can't sleep on these cats. Can't do it. About humidity, baby. I mean, it's not like in Tampa, it's more humid, yes. But we're talking North Florida, but still, it's hot as hell. It's hot as hot. It's hot. Yeah, Gage, but we'll get into that. Um, I'm wondering when they're gonna get Gronk back in the building. Yeah, when and that's the thing, because this is reminiscent of when Tom first got there. And it was just everybody's new and it didn't look right. It was all, and he's calm and he thinks they have another down and they don't have another down. Now it's just a matter of injuries. And see, the whole way Julio works in Tampa is if Godwin stays, like, can get healthy and then stay healthy. That's the only way Julio really truly works in Tampa. Julio, we see at this point in time, can't be trusted with too much of a load.
That's I dropped him already.
Yeah. So, yeah, I saw he was available. He was available in leagues. This is what ends up happening to Julio. You have a guy like Julio Jones who ends up available now for the past several seasons, like 4 or 5 seasons. It's just like people just give up. They're like, he ain't gonna do shit anyway. He could have 1,000,000 yards and then 2 touchdowns. So.
Yeah, Tom, that was incredible. All right, so let's go through some headlines before we get into this game action. Biggest headline to me is Myles Garrett totaled his Porsche.
Well, first of all, this is a huge lesson, okay? Big dudes, get big cars. Stop with this little toy car bullshit.
Dude, it just made me think of Derek Thomas. I was just like, oh man, he was lucky.
I mean, I get it. I don't know what it is about these little ass cars being tall and shit. You get in there, I guess you just feel like you just have all the control. But nah, baby, it's not smart.
Well, luckily for him, he's rich enough to afford the one that had the roll cage, and that saved him from that car just smashing completely.
And he got very lucky. And then he had a passenger too. They got very lucky.
Yeah. I mean, have had the white GT3 whenever I first came around, and it was my dream. I tell everyone, it was absolutely my dream. I just wanted to drive a Porsche once until I rode in one. And then I never wanted to drive one. I was like, you have to know how to drive this. You just don't jump in and just drive this thing.
That's what I felt about the Tesla. I rode in one, and I was like, yeah, no thank you. I'm not ready to drive this. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing in a Tesla.
Yeah, I mean, remember Chanel had that Subaru rally car with the boxer engine in it, dude. That was a Porsche that was all rally car. That car was stupid fast. I was like, that GT3 is a professional race car.
Right.
No good. Dude, it was so... switching into 3rd and 4th gear, you still got pushed back into the seats. I was just like, this is so stupid. We're going like 160 right now. Just... And
Just on the regular streets with street lights.
BQE, dude. Out in Queens. Late night, just flying, dude. Just...
Now, unless you on like Franny Lou Boulevard or Northern Boulevard, I mean, I get it. Queens Boulevard, Queens Bully, I get it.
Jackie Robinson and BQE, dude, just
Jackie
flying, man. Just
you get on the Southern State, open that thing up.
Impressive, but I never wanted to drive one ever after Ryan did one. So yeah, we'll see. He did injure his shoulder and his bicep, so he is definitely going to miss some time.
Which further weakens that defense
severely. And also,
defense, I was looking to do things to really help the offense along, but it's looking like it's going to be the other way around. The offense is going to have to help.
It's going to have to now, because not only do you lose Myles Garrett or the field, that's the locker room presence too, who's not going to be around. So you've lost a huge. There's a leadership void now, and
now your leader is Jacoby Briskets, because it's not going to be Chubb Rock, because he don't say shit.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be Amari Cooper. He just got there.
He don't say shit either.
Don't say shit either. Clowney's out. Like, I mean, you got Denzel Ward, but yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's a huge leadership void right now. Like, huge, because Deshaun's not around. He can't. So it's really weird. They're not going to losing Garrett's going to be so bad for them. They're going to struggle. And remember,
like Landry's gone. Like, you have no leadership there.
So remember in the preseason when we thought Deshaun Watson only got 4 games, that the first 4 games were manageable, and then the next 4 were murderer's row. They're about to get into that and still not have Deshaun, and possibly not have Myles Garrett for that run either. It's going to be rough for them. Thank God they have the best running back tandem in football by a mile.
Still.
It's not even close. So they can just...
And if they keep finding Amari and Njoku.
Yeah, who's getting busy.
He's been getting busy. They keep doing that combination and then making smart offensive plays with the clock, the whole 9 yards.
Well, Brisket's he's not going to. He doesn't really make too many mistakes, so there's a chance. But losing Myles Garrett's going to be devastating. All of those secondary players that they've lost over the last couple seasons for a couple games or the rest of the season or whatever, that wasn't the leadership void. Now the alpha male is not going to be in there. It's going to be weird.
Braves for all opposing quarterbacks.
Yeah, so you guys lost Shepard for the rest of the year.
I knew it. I thought it was an Achilles initially, how he was, how it looked. Then it ended up being ACL.
Yeah, that's gonna
Had in the past.
That's gonna hurt. So Tony should be stepping into that void, I imagine.
Well, he also has to get healthy. So does Wan'Dale Robinson.
And then I'm looking for Galladay to possibly get traded to the Bucks.
He has to. He's been absolutely garbaggio with us. As I was like, I wasn't expecting him to do much. I told you before they reached on the deal, but I understood because TV money and all that. It was 4 years, and they just needed someone. He's not a playmaker. He's someone who makes contested catches, and he did for a bad team.
As a third option, also. That's the thing. He fit as a third option. So you're looking at somebody who's emerging right now, and I grabbed him off the waiver wire this week if it goes through. It's Mac Hollins.
Oh yeah.
Because everyone's focusing so much attention on Waller and Devontae. Devontae's been gone the last 2 weeks.
And if anyone really knows who Mac Hollins is,
He
caught that rock from Fitzmagic when Fitzmagic had his helmet turned backwards when they were in Miami together. Mac Hollins has been in this league. He's a big dude. Bigger than what people know. And he gets, first of all, you don't last in this league unless you are a player. And then crack receiver lineups where, yeah, he could have been the fourth receiver, but he's cracking these lineups and he's getting snaps.
Well, Hunter Renfrow goes down, and then they don't really have a second option who's emerged of the players that they put into that. And so he just kind of filled the void, but he's filled it well. So it's funny because it's all about, as you know, finding a role. So right now, Devontae they haven't really figured out what Devontae's role needs to be for them to be successful. In game 1, 17 targets, like 14 catches, 2 touchdowns, they still lost. Game 2, 1 catch. They still lose. And in game 3, he gets a touchdown, but he only had like 3 catches for like 36 yards. So it's like teams were.
And Waller had a better game.
That's what I'm saying. And then they still have Jacobs in the backfield that they don't really use.
Mm-hmm.
So could Josh McDaniels get fired by the same team twice?
I'll be honest with you, the guy who knew how to run the team was the interim coach from last year. I felt like he really should have had first crack at it because he was pressing the right buttons.
So, Kerry, this once again goes into, this gives, to me, even more credit to Tom.
Yeah.
Because McDaniels he ran that offense for 14 years, multiple titles. He's trying to run the exact same thing with a quarterback who we like,
Yep.
who can play, but he's not. You're talking about elite decision-making ability and the speed of that he processes information before the ball's even snapped is, greatest of all time. So, Derek Carr's not that.
I think we've clearly seen. I think that. I don't even think. I know that the debate is over. They were like, who was most responsible, Hoodie or Tom?
We've seen it.
If they need each other, yes. And could they have achieved the same level of greatness without each other? Probably not. But who was the key cog? We see who was really running that ship. You see.
So do you think that Devontae Adams kind of is having second thoughts? But like, damn, I probably should have just stayed for like 2 more years with Aaron.
No. I'll tell you why. If he's smart, no. Tell you why.
Financially, no. Yes, we know that.
And also, you're in a new situation. So you stay in Green Bay 2 more years. You move wherever. You still got to restart. The restart has to happen somewhere and at some time.
I know, but I think that
Somebody.
at that point, how well he was playing with Aaron Rodgers, if you can do that for 2, you just wrote your Hall of Fame entrance.
Unless what you're saying is, within the next 2 years, Green Bay with him on it wins the chip.
I can see that. So what if like him and Derek, because Derek Carr just isn't Aaron Rodgers. So you see it. There's a couple throws that I've watched, and they'll try to throw the back shoulder, which Aaron Rodgers he didn't introduce it, but he did implement it as we do this a lot here.
Perfected it. He didn't introduce it. I've seen it before. Rarely, I've seen it before. He perfected it.
Yeah, he turned it into a thing.
Quarterback ever to lace him up.
So they tried to run a similar back shoulder fade into the corner, and that ball placement was so terrible. And I'm just thinking like.
And in that moment, Devontae Adams was like,
so
that whole thing back.
Devontae's body language after that, because his head went all the way back as he's walking back to the huddle, because that was the game he had 1 catch. And I'm just like, yo, you can't go from the greatest thrower of the football of all time to like the 11th best quarterback in the NFL currently.
Oh, I hope he didn't watch SportsCenter this week and see the rookie Dobbs getting busy, looking like a young Robert Brooks out there wearing 87.
Aaron Rodgers talked about him today on the Pat McAfee show about, he catches with his hands.
Yes, he did, and I saw that as soon I saw the one catch. When I saw him catch with his hands, I knew Aaron was going to continue to go to him, and then I went directly to the waiver wire to see where he was.
So the Jets lost another tackle to the IR. They are getting hammered. Clay Matthews has acknowledged that his football career is over. I was just like, when's the last time he was in the fucking league? It's really weird. He hasn't officially retired yet.
What do you mean he acknowledged?
Yeah, he just said like he had hoped to get back on the Packers roster.
How? As a staffer?
How long he's been out the game for?
He acknowledged this shit was over. Where was he?
I don't know, but he literally just said it.
He was on tape delay, I guess. I hope.
His gap between playing is the same length as Kaepernick's. It's like 6 years or something retarded.
Just about.
Mac Jones.
Josh Gordon has played more snaps than he has.
Mac Jones out for 6 to 8 weeks. It's a high ankle sprain that they said it would have been better. It would have been better if he broke his leg instead of getting that.
High ankle sprains are fucking terrible.
Yeah, and then
I've had terrible.
All-Pro tackle for the Chargers out for the year. Slater. Biceps. Both of them. So that was he pushed as hard as he possibly could, but the force coming the opposite way was just too much. They just exploded. Yeah. So the Chargers, I had thought that it was going to be the Bucs that were going to be the injury hit team this year because they are going through a lot. But the Chargers have 5 All-Pro players who are now out. 6 if you want to talk about Herbert playing with half a rib cage.
Let me tell you something. I sat Herbert, and you know what? It was the right decision.
I will say, he continues, and I texted you.
He'll make the perfect.
This is the best quarterback that I have ever seen as a total package. That throw with broken ribs, on the move, across his body, as a laser, off the wrong foot. Are you fucking kidding me?
I know. Listen, every time this kid takes a snap, I just think about him in giant blue. That's all I do. So I'm just like, I'm glad he's at least it's a different color blue. So yeah, I told you this kid is gonna be ridiculous. I said, I see this kid. He does everything. He checks every single box.
He's the best. He's the most talented quarterback I have ever seen.
Easy.
There's nothing that he doesn't do at an elite level. It's incredible, including the information processing, because he will go through 5 reads, bang, 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 bang. It's so impressive. That throw, that's the best throw I saw all day. But given the fact that he has half of a rib cage and he's still.
Right.
I was just like, who else? I'm thinking to myself, how many people could possibly actually make that throw? And I think he might actually be the only one. Patrick Mahomes does do off balance all the time, but give Patrick Mahomes a half of a rib cage across the body, off the wrong foot. He maybe.
We're talking about and see and think about that because we're talking about Patrick Mahomes where he is now, and I was like, possibly Aaron Rodgers, but younger Aaron Rodgers. Like I gotta move the clock back on Aaron, and then it's still maybe a maybe.
Maybe the only and the thing that separates him is Herbert is 6'6". That's a big fucking. He's so big and he's so much bigger than the other ones.
Maybe,
Yeah.
Herbert could just muscle that thing, but also he has true quarterbacking skills. So like he knows how to arm angle, release,
Dexterity. You know, Josh Allen's has a rocket arm, but that's a very big. He's kind of stiff a little bit. He's not making that throw. He's just going to run through that leg tackle and just keep going.
Right, and if he does attempt it, it's going to be over. It's going to be long.
Dude, that throw. It's hard to say that throw's better than the throws from that fourth quarter drive on all fourth downs that he had, given them the magnitude of what they meant. But he has half a rib cage and he just did that. I was just like, I've never seen that before, ever.
That was a master class in what it takes to drive a team down the field in the most crucial of situations. That was a master class.
Yeah, just so impressive. All right, see what NFL.com's headlines are, because I know they had a couple different ones. I still can't believe that Myles Garrett thing. I'm telling you, I just saw Derek Thomas is the first thing I saw because he survived the crash.
I didn't see the car. And
Totaled, completely crunched.
I heard about it. I was like, maybe I don't. I'm just glad homie's okay.
Yeah, all right, let's get into some game action. I don't know what's going to... no, we can go through the injuries because the other injuries, because there is a lot of them. There's so many people that are banged up and it's so early.
Yeah.
Like banged up, like they're like, going to be out for, like Keenan Allen, going to be out for a couple games. Just like, dude, we just fucking started.
Yeah, I know.
You know those hamstring injuries for a wide receiver, that's going to be a season-long issue too.
Especially for him who's not a fast guy.
Yeah.
And that's crazy because fast people know what to do to hamper the hamstring. People who are not normally that fast, they get a hamstring injury and they're like, they try to like muscle their way through it. It's not how it works, baby. So this could extend for him easily to 6 weeks.
So the Bills safety being out for the year, that hurts. That's going to hurt them.
Boyer?
Yeah. That neck injury or whatever it was, it's a year thing. Like, he's done.
Oh, but that's a different one.
That's
No,
the
that
other
was
safety.
Dane Jackson. So Poyer and
The one who injured his neck is out for the year. He's done. There is no coming back from that when they ruled it. He's done. So what's the other one's name? Micah Hyde.
I heard the other night who got his neck.
That's
that was Dane Jackson.
No, Micah Hyde is done for the year.
Oh, Micah Hyde is done for the year.
Yeah.
Ooh, shit.
Yeah, Hyde's done for the year, and Jackson's also going to be banged up for a while, but Hyde's done for the year. That's huge for them.
That's devastating.
I mean, they still played really good against Miami's offense,
No doubt. But Micah Hyde.
but Miami also only had 30.
Lead the last 5 years.
Yeah, Miami also only had 39 snaps, so it's just not. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But yeah, Micah Hyde done for the year. That's huge for them. It's like these are big injuries right now that are happening for important teams. You know.
So this would normally be. Let's just see if we have 4 preseason games. This would have been game 1.
That's what I'm saying. This is where usually everyone who does get hurt like this gets hurt. So the timing is still the same.
Yeah.
It's just the designation of what this week actually means in the NFL is now different.
Yeah.
And that's when we talked about that last year. I'm like, it's the timeline's still the same though. It's weird.
So it seems like until we figure out these early seasons, our early season picks are gonna suck because we haven't figured the team out yet.
Yeah.
Once we figure the teams out, then these picks become a lot easier.
Well, after this would be week 1. By what would be week 3, then we know who's who.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, honestly, the people who are going to get hurt, they're going to get hurt. Yeah, there's going to be somebody that's going to get hurt later on the season, like Odell did randomly last year in the Super Bowl. But the people who are healthy, they're there.
They get hurt.
Yeah.
Julio Jones gets hurt.
Yeah,
Gets
so.
hurt. I know it.
Yeah, fuck all these injuries, man. You know what? Let's just circumvent this and let me just send you a new link and we'll go over all the games from last week with a fresh window from Zoom. All right. Hilarious that I did like the first 5 minutes without my mic being on. It's funny because Carrie could hear me, but nobody else could. All right. I can promise you guys that we will not be doing 4 hours tonight because I only have one more blunt. And, you know what that means. Oh, that means it's time to roll up, of course. Billy Lons, what up, homie? I should be playing the roll-up song right now, but I'm being lazy. I knew Carrie would be here instantly. So, Thursday night football. That was an easy win. Cleveland over Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's going to suck until they put Kenny Pickett in. That's just the way it is. Did you hear anything I just said? Probably not.
Kenny Pickett, they're going to suck till they put Kenny Pickett in, and that's just the way it is, and that's why I provided the hood.
I will say George Pickens did make a career highlight catch.
Yes, he did. That catch was stupid.
Dude, the body angle that he had to create to go backwards to get it, that was...
I'm sorry, horizontally, running full speed with somebody on him.
And then jumping backwards. That was incredible. And then holding on to it.
So it immediately confirmed for me. I mean, I was already solid on him, but immediately confirmed for me that he is their solid 1A. He's their solid 1A.
Him and Deontay Johnson are both dope.
That's what I'm saying. Deontay Johnson's 1. George Pickens is 1A.
So
please put in Kenny Pickett so that we can actually enjoy more Pickens and more Deontay, and even Claypool. But see, this is why I say Pickens 1A. Claypool, I see that they're gonna move him around more. He's not gonna be the outside receiver. He's not gonna last all year if he's just the outside receiver. You put Claypool in action, he's a big dude, and I actually like that. He could be like their Larry Fitzgerald type, and that would be a perfect role for Claypool. And I think they got another receiver that they're kind of high on.
I think that you could use Claypool like they use Debo.
Sure, right.
Just get the ball in his hands in the backfield.
But then I also say Larry because blocking.
Yeah,
Claypool.
yeah. He's a good blocker. This was the easy one to pick because Nick Chubb's just too good at football. like so good. Yeah, Pittsburgh's going to suck. Cleveland is about to hit a rough patch, though. Yeah, good luck, guys. Amari Cooper continues to put up meaningless numbers, in my view. 101 yards of nothing. Nothing important.
I would say, though,
Nah, we're not going to say it. Houston at Chicago. I just keep thinking that Houston's going to win a football game.
see on that one, I'm charging to Lovie Smith. I felt that Lovie would beat his old team. I felt like Houston would step up. They had opportunities and they threw them away.
Yes, they did. Khalil Herbert, 157 yards, though, instead of using David Montgomery, which I don't know why they don't do this more often.
Well, David got hurt.
I know, but they were forced to use Herbert.
Herbert is nice.
This is what I'm saying. Instead of using David Montgomery, why have they not been using Herbert? Because the second half of the season, when Herbert was their number one back, he got busy.
I remember.
Yes.
We'll see. They spent a high draft pick on David Montgomery.
You can tell, and that's that stupid shit. I don't like it. Yeah, Chicago's not very good. Neither is Houston. Chicago looks like they put up more of a fight, though. Justin Fields can make plays. Dougie Davis-Mills is not making the same plays he was making last year.
I know.
Pierce.
So they're he had different pieces last year.
He did. Pierce had a couple fumbles.
He did, and then they were relying on the rookie out of Alabama to really help him out. He obviously was leukemia. But then Nico Collins was supposed to be better. And then Brandon Cooks, he's talking about someone who gets injured. O.J. Howard has had one of the most inconsistent careers that we've known and seen.
They're not very good.
Not there.
They're not very good at all. Raiders losing to Tennessee. I just keep thinking the Raiders are going to win a game, and they just won't.
They just won't do it.
They just wait until there's 7.5 minutes left, and then however many they're down by, they're going to get within a field goal, and you think that they're going to tie it, but they just don't.
The thing with it is that's so annoying is that we have good expectations of Josh McDaniels. Why? Because he's been with New England, even though in his head coaching opportunities he's fallen on his face. We have good expectations, obviously, of Devontae, of Carr, of Jacobs,
Waller,
like players we've seen get busy and do shit. We have expectations of these players. We figure you get them all together. Yeah, they should be able to do this.
It's just not working yet, and I don't know if it's going to this season. Derrick Henry showed up finally.
Yes, he did. Of course, this would be the team he showed up again.
Of course. Kansas City losing to Indy. There was a lot of NFL pundits that picked this. A lot of people are just like, it just feels like the matchup and the timing and everything and how things have been playing out. And it's a game of matchups.
Yeah.
It's a game of matchups, and that rookie tight end for Indy is now become Matt Ryan's best friend. So pick that guy up on your fantasy squad because Matt Ryan is going to feed him. He's 6'7", whatever his name is. He's gigantic.
Oh, and Matty Ice Cream, if he loves anything, he loves a tight end.
So he looks like Mo Alley Cox exactly. You would think it's Mo Alley, but it's not. They're both just 6'7" with dreads and huge and athletic, like very athletic.
Sweet locks like mine.
Caught the game-winning touchdown with however many seconds left.
Oh, that cat, yeah. Jelani Brown.
Something.
Jelani, definitely Jelani.
Collins, maybe something like that. I don't know.
Jelani Brown.
I don't want to look it up, but anyway, they may have found something there. That guy's a stud. It looks like he's just so big. He's 6'7".
Well, if they figure this out for Matthew Ice Cream, it's throughout his career when he's had a strong running game and tight end, aka Tony Gonzalez. That's what we talk about. And then strong running game, Matthew Ice Cream, and then like a good outside receiver. Matthew Ice Cream knows how to do some things with an offense.
So this goes against one of our horsemen of the apocalypse because Matthew Ice Cream just beat a team with a quarterback better than him.
An elite quarterback, I know.
So here's the odd thing, though. The way that he was able to do it was by being in this situation that he literally thrives in. That guy has more game-winning last drives than anyone else in the NFL since he's been there on just last game-winning last drive, which he did it again.
And something that has snake-bitten Kansas City again, which is a late, stupid-ass penalty by the defense.
No, by Chris Jones. Don't say the defense, by Chris Jones.
By Chris Jones. Well, yes, well, before was Will was, but so first of all, Chris Jones, stop acting like you get 25 sacks a year, my dude. You don't. You made the play. Like, talking shit right now at this point in the game does nothing.
There has to be a...
The first quarter, yes. All right, I hear that. Set the tone. It's the fourth quarter. You made the stop. Get the fuck off the field. You about to win. Instead, you know how these refs are calling it, or you don't. So you don't. So just shut up and get to the sideline. What you doing?
Well...
Stupid-ass penalties. I hate them.
I hate them too. There has to be a list of trigger phrases or things that you cannot say, because it was instantly. There was something he said, that one ref was just like, oh, whoop, he said it.
See? That's what I'm like, come on, man.
You know what I think he called him?
Are you supposed to be a leader?
You know what I think he called him?
A crack-ass crack.
No, that would be hilarious if he called him that. Everyone has to laugh if he says that. That's so funny. It's so funny. How could you not laugh? That's so funny. Crack-ass cracker. It's so funny. No, an English cigarette.
Oh.
That's instant. It's a big penalty. 15 yards is big. That's especially in that scenario. Huge.
Stop. Yeah, that was bad. And then they had some other shit too. And like early on with Patrick arguing with the offensive coordinator. Like,
plus with Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore, what they just did, the NFL's quick on it. Like
Also, listen, Kelsey, and we know this, when Kelsey starts dropping the rock, passes he would normally catch 10 times out of 10, Casey's going to have a bad day.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to have a bad day.
Yeah, he's definitely the engine that keeps that offense running. And everyone thought it was Tyreek. No, Tyreek is the most. He is a unicorn.
He's the one who blows the top off the building. You know what I mean?
The NFL has never had anything like this before, and you won't again. He's so different. So I saw a mic'd up segment that was hilarious, and it was the DBs for the Ravens when Tyreek and Jalen were just going stupid on them in the fourth quarter, and he's just sitting on the bench, and he goes, man, I hate covering him. He's just like, he runs so weird, because he does. He's like, and he's like, I can't read his body to figure out what he's going to do. It's
if you're going like this, and then all of a sudden your elbow flare, I know you're going this way. But if you already running like this, you're like, where the fuck's he gonna go?
He's like, he doesn't run normal. He just.
And then he does that shit with all that wasted motion faster than anyone has done that with all this other shit.
He's like, he's built so compact too. He's just like, it's just so hard to cover him. And he is right, because at that level, you're looking for the smallest little tail. As a DB, I'm reading the hips, because your body has to go with them.
Hips, elbows,
you know wide receivers' tendencies on how they like to make their moves and set you up. There is no setting you up with Tyreek. He's just a Tasmanian devil.
He's already doing this shit, whatever that shit is.
So that's just given speed. He's just fast. He was built that way because he never even had to learn how to run properly.
At all.
He looks like a little kid who's sprinting downhill that can't catch up with themselves.
Running downhill in a damn snowstorm.
Yeah, trying not to fall.
Yeah, but somehow maintaining balance.
Yeah. and somehow moving at a 4-1 pace. It's just different. He moves different.
And this is also what we have never seen in the NFL before is a wide receiver that fast and having a wide receiver on the other side equally as fast. Cheetah said, he literally said, he looked at him and he doesn't give anybody credit for being fast. And he was like, yo, are you fast?
Yeah,
So
he
for me, like Waddle is probably this close.
That's what I'm saying. It's rare to have the two like fastest players.
The absolute fastest in the league.
And then
on the same offense.
And then they actually have the player who has achieved the fastest on-field speed the last 3 years in a row as their third-string running back. And I told you when they picked him up, like, oh, they're the fastest team in the league now.
Got an Olympic squad.
Yeah, they just need one more, and they got to.
They got to make a 4x1 squad.
Yeah, they need one more burner.
Imagine they had Micah Parsons. Oh my God.
We'll get into Lawrence Taylor 2.0. He wrecks a game by himself. See, this is something.
Even stats be damned. Just like a Aaron Donald. Like the stats don't tell the tale all the time.
All you have to do is watch it, and he affects every single play. He dominates every situation, and I'm going to have to look at their defense, which is really good, because he is that good that he just makes everyone around him better. Dude, and
you still have DeMarcus Lawrence, Trayvon Diggs on this team. You know what I mean? Like,
don't they still have Gregory?
Nah, Gregory's in Denver.
So who's the other D-Ed?
I don't know.
But
they still got Nick Vander Esch.
But Micah Parsons is the best defensive football player since Lawrence Taylor, it looks like.
Yeah.
It's impressive. He just won a game by himself, kinda.
And you know how protective I am of the real LT, the only LT. But like even hearing that comparison, like I am unbothered because I'm looking at him.
Yeah.
And I see what he does, and I've said, if you are not going to pick Justin Fields or you can't get Devonta Smith, please get Micah Parsons. He's sitting right there.
Well, you know the tale of his history is the second he stepped on a football field as a junior high player, he was better than everyone in the whole state already. And from that moment, he was just better than everybody. From this moment he stepped on the field all the way up through Penn State was just literally, I'm better than everyone, and you can see it. Speaking of young kids dominating, I know you saw that video I sent you of that 15-year-old girl winning that college 400. Yeah, dude, it's hilarious. 15 years old. She's running she's running in a college meet, and she wins the 400. Not only does she win it, she walks down the leader around the turn and just leaves him.
Oh no, I have not seen that. I will though, and I cannot wait.
I was just like, 15. She looks like the 18-year-old, the really tall.
Out of Jersey.
Yeah, her name something. It's something beyond.
Yeah.
Beyond my enunciation skills, that's for fucking sure. But yeah, she looked like her, because that girl doesn't lose in the 800. She's dominant. 15 years old, dude.
Busy.
15. This is a college track meet.
Because normally you'll see that out of on the male side. It's rare you'll see like a young lady like in the high school ranks dominate like that. We haven't seen that like since like Marion Jones, like where he was just dominating.
Yeah, you gotta check it out. It's really impressive. Miami and Buffalo, we already talked about. That's an anomaly game, how it played out. Good for Miami. That legitimizes their defense is solid too. To not allow Buffalo to score. That looked like a New England championship level New England defense that might give up a whole bunch of yards because for some reason you just don't get points on them.
I mean, we're gonna have to start talking about
McDaniel
yeah,
looking good.
Let's start talking about him at some point.
Looking good. Got to give credit where credit's due. He might be a fucking weirdo, but the weirdos are running football right now.
This is the truth.
Detroit and Minnesota. Detroit still is Detroit, man.
I believed in them, and I told you I would. I'm gonna believe in them this year.
They're playing well. It's just they don't know how to win yet.
But then also, fucking Captain Kirk wins these stupid games.
Yeah, I know.
Dalvin Cook gets hurt. Justin Jefferson doesn't have a great game.
At all.
But this is what Captain Kirk does. He wins these games. Osborne has the touchdown. You know what I mean?
I know. It's just Detroit just doesn't know how to win yet.
Mm-hmm.
They know how to play football. They don't know how to close anybody out. Because they've been up. And they have the team to win. They just can't close it out.
Fucking do. They just gotta taste it.
Yeah, because they haven't won. They just don't.
Start tasting it though, they'll get it.
They got the taste of kneecaps in their mouth. They need to get the taste of victory.
They need.
Baltimore, New England. Yeah, we all knew this was going to happen. New England, Baltimore's defense is absolutely abysmal. They have like the worst defense in football.
Terrible. They gave up so many points to an inept offense.
But Devontae Parker did play well. But at the same time, I'm watching him being like, yeah, this Ravens defense is god awful.
Yeah.
Now, I actually went on Twitter and tweeted Darius Butler because I know he does DB play breakdowns now. Because in the first quarter of that game, the DB play on both sides of the ball was literally flawless. I was just like, these guys are playing incredible right now. They're all literally making the right decisions, the right breaks. Players are breaking off of their routes and jumping the throws and getting picks. I was just like, this is incredible. And then the rest of the game happened. The Ravens defense is fucking awful. Mac Jones out for a long stretch. Brian Hoyer, 11 straight losses as starting quarterback. We are going to suck, people. Cincinnati at New York. The Jets suck, and you kind of knew that Cincinnati eventually was going to have a game where Joe Burrow kind of gets into the rhythm of football and over the appendectomy and shit like that. He looked good. Chase still isn't dominating, but your guy T played extremely well. Hey, T's on my squad, so yeah, get busy, T.
I got T on one of my spots.
Yeah, we'll just see the Bengals just continue to get better. So coming up this week, the storyline with the Bengals is Miami comes for Thursday Night Football. Miami is coming off of that type of game where Tua got his head rocked, and it was 90+ degrees. People were gassed. They've got a very short week, have to play in Cincinnati. See, this is a trap game for Miami because of the conditions and whatnot.
Especially being undefeated.
And Cincinnati's secondary is a top 3 fantasy secondary. They're giving up the least fantasy points to wide receivers.
Jesse Bates is good. He hasn't put up the stats yet, but, I mean, there was a reason why,
So, I've already, I'm running with Cincinnati in this one because this is a trap game scenario, and this is how it should happen, but the NFL is upside down this year. So, yeah, they're already talking about Tyreek torching Eli. But I don't know if they're going to have enough juice, and if Tua gets one shot on them, which is going to happen, he's not very mobile, early, he might be out.
Yeah.
So, and I'm telling you, I think Cincinnati's just going to, they're just going to continue to improve.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing...
It's good to play the Jets. It's good to...
Bill Collins, they spent $87 million on the offensive line.
Well, it's good.
You got to protect Joey Boyband, okay? And then also, Joe Mixon hasn't really gotten it churning just yet.
It's good to play the Jets. That's good for any team's win-loss record. There's nothing to talk about them. They still have Joe Flacco. When Zach Morris comes into the fold, then we can start talking about the Jets seriously, because that's the team they're supposed to be.
I would honestly, I feel like they wasted this opportunity to really see what Mike White was like.
Yeah, I know. Stupid.
Because he's going to be around longer than Joey Fruity Flakes. So
I mean, I think they're just going to run with Flacco until Wilson's ready, which is dumb. You're right. They should have went with Mike White this year. Because what do you got to lose?
Flacco got.
Yeah, you're a terrible team with a terrible record in a division that has the Bills and Dolphins. So, nah, it's not going to happen for you.
Who thought we would be saying those teams like that? They got the Bills and Dolphins, not New England.
I know, right? Philly at Washington. The Eagles look like the best team in football this week. Yeah, it was a layup anyway, but boy, did they take advantage of the opportunity to dominate. They had 8 sacks in the first half.
Shit out. It's like, it was funny, like, Wentz going up to old teammates, and they just like, oh man, and he was going up to old defensive teammates. They like, oh man, you have no idea.
What we're about to do to you.
Blood in the water, my friend.
Yeah, they teed off. I picked up the Eagles defense on both of my fantasy squads at the right time.
I did too. I started them.
Yeah. Let's go. Well, my NFL fantasy league, this was a layup. That's one of the worst. I saw you dominate it too, but this was a layup week for me. And then I have another layup this week coming up, so I'm actually just experimenting. Also, hurricane this week, bad weather football games. That's going to be the biggest key for fantasy is how's the weather in your game. Tampa is actually looking at moving their game up to Tennessee because Tennessee is on the road this week because they don't think they're going to be able to even be in Tampa, let alone play down there. So that means really bad football.
Yeah.
So this is something to look for. Philly, absolutely dominant. They look so good. Jalen Hurts is him and Lamar have to be the leading MVP candidates right now. He looks so good. They just targeted Devontae Smith this week, just fed him the whole entire game, and it worked.
You know, I've been saying that. I've been preaching this shit for how long? I was like, Jalen Hurts is going to be the shit this year. I'm trying to get Jalen Hurts.
So, Kerry, if you look at championship caliber teams, they now have all of the components. They have two of them lockdown quarters. 2. Their defensive line gets pressure without need for blitzing.
With Derek Barnett out for the fucking.
So the two biggest keys on defense they have, right? On offense, they have one of the best offensive lines in football. They have a quarterback who has played at an MVP caliber level in a modern style offense, which means he's also running the ball extremely effectively. They have an absolute dominant go-to option if they need to play on offense in A.J. Brown. And then they have complementary pieces that are at the top of the level at being a number 2 and a tight end with Goddard and Devontae Smith. And then
you also got a good enough run game with Miles Sanders, Gainwell.
They got like 7 running backs. They literally have everything. So if they stay healthy,
Kazir White at linebacker.
Dude, they're loaded. They're absolutely loaded. And everyone is playing well. And they have, like I said, the most important things. I don't know who their kicker is, but he better be really good because you can't blow this for this team.
Yeah. I don't know.
They are. And the coaching staff is running that team and that offense, playing to Jalen's strengths and things like that well.
No, it's funny because we were clowning that head coach at first because he did have some silly-ass press conferences.
He does, but Kerry, you know what I noticed with the new run of coaches? McDaniel in Miami, and then dude we were just talking about, even McVay. McVay's more kind of my system works, so we're just going to make. But then once he got Matthew Stafford, I was just like, all right, we're going to kind of do what you do with what I do. The younger coaches, though, like especially the new ones, the young ones, the Madden coaches. These guys play to their players' strengths. They don't come in with a system.
Right.
They are like, well, yeah, this is what I do. I run this. We're going to, it's just like, oh, no, this is our players. We're going to put something together. And Miami's playing to Tua's strength was he's always had a great deep ball.
Yeah. He never got credit on it league, which was funny because all they talked about was how accurate he was and how accurate his deep ball was.
Yeah, I'm
Which
just
watched him throw in Alabama, so I don't know how it got different in the pros.
so what do you do if you have a great deep ball? Like what they should have done with Russell Wilson is let's go get the fastest receivers in the NFL and just let you throw deep balls, homie.
There it is.
You know, so they're doing it right. They're playing to.
I had Jamar Chase.
So this is, you play, there's two styles of coaching. You either coach to what your players' strengths are or you try to force them into your system. And I think the ones who try to coach by force are terrible unless you're Bill Belichick. But Bill Belichick doesn't count because their game plan changes every single week to play to your opponent's weaknesses. So that's the only one that doesn't count. They're so different how they operate. And we'll see how good of a coach you are with Brian Hoyer now as your fucking starting quarterback. And we are battling with the Jets to stay out of the cellar in our own division. Long year. Thank God Tom's still playing and I get to watch Justin Herbert. Yeah. Saints at Carolina. This one was an easy one for me because Jameson is not playing well. Jameis is not. He's turning the ball over an awful lot.
Yeah, I feel like he's pressing right now because he missed most of last year. I feel like last year is still in his head because he got off to such a great start, and I feel like we would have really seen more of a consistent Jameis right now. So he's going through these now new growing pains, and I feel like he's also really missing Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Because if Sean Payton was there, I just
Sean Payton, speaking of him, side note, Sean Payton says he will be open and interested to returning to football as early as next year if the right opportunity opens up, i.e., whenever you fire Mike McCarthy, I will be the Cowboys head coach.
Yeah. I mean, if we didn't have Dayball, I'd be like, bring your ass back to New York, Sean. Miss it. Yeah, but like I think Jameis is really missing this right now, unless if Dennis Allen is just not that coach for Jameis.
No, possibly not. So Chris McCaffrey healthy so far. Their defense is pretty good in Carolina, and New Orleans offense isn't playing good right now, and that one was an easy one to pick for me. So, especially after New Orleans lost to the Bucs, because Tom always loses to the Saints in Louisiana. So I was just like, oh, they didn't even win the glitch games that they normally win.
Right. I trusted New Orleans defense. I trusted them to make plays.
Well, Carolina's defense also scored, which was the difference in the game. Exactly, and that's why I bet on Jameis to be worse than Carolina's defense, who statistically has been playing pretty well this year. Jacksonville and the Chargers, we know Jacksonville's for real. The Chargers are completely banged up. That wasn't even close to their A roster, but this wasn't even close. James Robinson is going to be this year's Austin Eckler, James Conner, and score 20 touchdowns.
Counting them out.
Yeah.
James Robinson out.
Well, now that you have a pass offense that is humming, it takes all the pressure off of him to make a broken offense from last year work. And now he can just do this, and it's working. It's going to be fun watching Trevor Lawrence play football because he looks like Justin Herbert's like surfer cousin who smokes weed and shit.
Sunshine.
Yeah, he's 6.
The Titans.
Dude, he's 6'5". He's almost the same height. He throws really well on the move.
He does.
He's been
Hair fluent the entire time.
Yeah, both of them have incredible hair.
Yeah.
Like I said, he looks like his fucking stoner cousin who likes to surf and shit.
And then also he makes commercials with the kids.
Yeah, so
Football should just be fun.
I think that unfortunately the Chargers look like they could be a disappointment this year.
With this strained rib cartilage that Herbert has,
You've lost your left tackle. You are
Like Herbert's not going to be healthy this entire year.
you're down your starting center for a while. Keenan Allen's been out, which changes your whole offense. Eckler's not being Eckler this season right now.
And then you lose Bosa.
Yeah, Bosa's now hurt for a while. The only addition that's really working out was Everett at tight ends,
Yeah.
which I knew he
Now-
would.
Now they can double and triple team Mac.
Yeah, so it's going to they look like they
Team saves today. Well, Derwin and also Asante Samuel Jr. I mean,
yeah, but their defense is going to perform, but they just look like they might end up being a disappointment this year, but just because it happens. They might not quite be ready, like the Bills weren't ready to be a dominant team that the Bills are now. You know, it's just we see Justin Herbert play football, and we just want to see it in the Super Bowl. Put it on the biggest stage, please, so everyone can see it. Jacksonville, going to be awesome to watch the rest of the season. Very interesting. Worst to first team.
what I tell you, that was my hot take. Jacksonville, baby.
Well, I mean, we knew it. We said we knew it. You could see glimpses of it last year. Like, oh, they got some things working right now.
It just they had old finger bang head coach. So yeah,
Uh,
that was terrible.
Rams at Arizona. This was easy. They don't have D-Hop. Whatever. Dortch is getting busy, though.
Yeah, I don't even know this George.
Greg Dortch. I don't know where he's from, but I have used him in my daily fantasy squad the last 2 weeks because he's getting like...
Because also Rondell is out.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh, this is a cheap option, and he's getting a lot of looks because they don't have nobody. It's him and Ertz right now.
Right.
You know, so they just don't have enough working for them right now. And their defense is not very good.
James Conner's out.
He is questionable right now, so he has been banged up already.
And their defense is just not playing to the level that they should.
Not at all. So that was an easy one. Even though I don't think the Rams are that good. They just are playing pretty bad teams right now. They're getting like cupcake wins.
Yeah.
Green Bay at Tampa Bay. This is actually an easy one just because Tom. I knew that Tampa's defense was going to hold Green Bay's offense to a low number. I just didn't think Tom's offense had enough because Green Bay's defense is also pretty fucking good.
True. I didn't know who the hell Aaron Rodgers was going to throw to until I discovered it's going to be Dobbs now.
Yep.
Now we get it. Now I see it because Dobbs is, out of all the rookies I've seen perform for Green Bay, that one is the one. Not to say Christian Watson won't get there, but if we're looking at a Devontae Adams type of trajectory, we're looking at year 3.
He's doing that against the best secondary in football.
And he was catching with his hands, getting open. Like, he impressed me. Like, and they were running the rock with him. There hadn't been a lot of action, so I'm looking for that to not only continue but increase.
San Francisco at Denver at 11-10. Are you fucking kidding me?
Listen,
Jimmy G running out of the back of the end zone like Dan Orslowski. This is what Jimmy G does, though, man. He will lose these games that they were supposed to win.
Yeah, but
There's no excuse for them to lose that game. That was a terrible football game to watch. The Broncos looked terrible.
That's horrible, but they absolutely, and I personally, Russell Wilson had to win this game.
Yeah.
Like, he had to have this victory. And you know the Walton's sitting up there like, I gave you all this money. You better give me these dubs. But yeah, if you're the 49ers, what a terrible loss for you. You're supposed to win this game.
Yeah, this is awful.
Not only do you lose the game, but then you also lose your left tackle, Trent Williams, the best left tackle in the game, for probably 4 to 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain.
Yeah, not looking good for them. Dallas at the Giants. Yo, Danny Dumbles is just terrible at football. He's so bad.
Full Triple D.
He's
Danny Dum Dum.
Saquon's dope.
But though, I have to say, because it is true. In the fourth quarter, Sterling Shepard had a critical drop, and our high-paid ass receiver Galladay had critical drops. They did Danny Dum Dum no favors on that drive. We don't even know, and that's right before Sterling Shepard gets hurt with the ACL. So I gotta give credit where credit is, and in the plays which he actually ran, even though it took him a long time to finally decide to run, when he took off, he looked athletic, and he was. See, this is the thing. He shows you glimpses, but then he just shows up, and it happens, and it's like the Danny Dum Dum effect. Like, good things happen to Tom Brady, right? As bad things, ridiculous things happen to Danny Dum Dum. Like, David Sills just tripped on the turf monster, and then now Diggs get his first interception for the year. But you saw how low Diggs had to die for it. David Sills is 6'4", 6'5".
6'7".
Oh, he's like, oh, sorry. That's right. He's 6'7".
Yeah.
That's going to be a ridiculously hard catch for him at 6'7" to try to dig that up. But, I mean, he fell anyway.
Yeah, so that's all right. I'm gonna send you a new one, and we will look forward to next week. That was perfect timing. It's like we've done this before. All right, so let me start another one, and we will get into prognostication. Everybody's favorite football-related word, prognostication. Oh, shit. Wrong person. Roger Harper's gonna be, why the fuck do you keep sending me invites? Functo, I'll hit you on Instagram, homie. Yes. I'm high. Funny in 4K, I can totally see it.
What's new?
Yeah, absolutely nothing. P album coming out in a couple of days, homie. That's new.
Saw that.
Yeah, the circle is almost complete.
2, Galilean Dialectic 2, Galilean Dialectic 1. Fire. You haven't heard it? You definitely should.
Yo, so that's
Got some joints on there.
yo, it's been years coming to a conclusion.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's dope. It's dope because in most scenarios, human beings are comfortable, even if it's an uncomfortable scenario. If it's a routine, you become comfortable in it. It's hard for people to break comfort of their routine.
Sure. I would tell you, like,
Dude, I am looking forward to the conclusion.
snakes. So dope. That's one of my, like, I'll have that on repeat for a while.
Yo, I see. I've done this before. So, the 3 years that I resided inside of Infamous Studios while P was locked up, that was a 3-year test of patience. In order to, I knew that there was a conclusion. It was just like, all right, let's close this one and move on to the next one, which was another 3 years in the studio while P's on parole. whole different setting, whole different. Everything was different though. So, and then this process has been like a 3-year process, is giving Roni shutdowns.
Well, I remember. I've been there for the whole time.
Yeah, I know. So it's coming to a conclusion, which is dope, because at every conclusion, that's like something else begins. So it's just like, here we go. So
it was snakes, spiritual war, rituals.
So I was talking to somebody.
Smoking rappers also.
Dude, I was talking to the Dower people today.
Okay.
I ran into him in Manhattan.
Okay.
And
my guy.
I was sitting there telling him, but it was like I was having a conversation with you, because it was a full football analogy.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, so if you're a seasoned vet, when the victory occurs, which happens Friday at midnight, game's over, the clock's hit 0, we win. There are people who are going to celebrate and revel in the victory. I said, but there are some players that are immediately going to be watching film on the plane ride on the way home. And I'm like, Friday's going to be cool. There's going to be a lot of social media shit. But then like Saturday, it's just like, all right,
they're going to pray for your downfall.
Right on to the next one, homie. Like, on to the next challenge. But yeah, this is dope, man. It's dope.
No, it's a big thing.
Yeah, this is dope, man. This has been
a long time coming.
Yeah, many evils have reared their head.
We already know them.
All right, so
this is how we give back. The glow up. The glow up is always how you give back.
Of course. So let's look at some league leaders real quick. If the Eagles have the best offense in football, statistically, 450 yards a game. They're killing it right now. Jalen Hurts has accounted for the 15th highest total of scoring and yards in the NFL as a team. He has accounted for more offense than 17 teams in the NFL by himself. Well,
that's a video game this year.
Well,
I'll be honest with you. Lamar Jackson is having a way better. I knew he was going to go all out, but he's putting up for real Tecmo Bowl numbers. And so the fact that even Jalen Hurts is keeping up in that same category with Lamar is insane.
So we've seen this from Lamar before, because he's gotten an MVP and he is ridiculous. So the thing with Lamar, the test for him is, can you do it for a full season without missing 4 games? And can you do it in the playoffs against a team that's better than you? Like, can you make the players around you better against a really, really good competition? It's very early on in the season, but dude, he is putting up Bo Jackson Tecmo Bowl numbers. It's stupid. But Jalen Hurts, I told you, and I knew it, the second that A.J. Brown signed there, and I heard that they have been working out since college together, I was like, he is going to have a huge year, because he had a really quiet, good year last year.
Yes.
Where you were like, oh wow, he's going to be something, and then you add that to your offense, who is an excellent and ferocious blocker. So when Jalen Hurts takes off, he's going to fucking kill somebody. Oh, it's perfect.
And also, he's a powerlifting champion. H-Town, get down.
And then you allow Devontae Smith to do this now instead of being a number 1. He's just not big enough to be a 1 to handle it.
I know he's like tiny. He's Deshaun Jackson 2.0. But just like
impressive so far.
Like that more.
And they've been dominating. They have multiple, and Jacksonville also has multiple wins of over 20 points. They've been dominating. So the worst off.
They have an underrated defense. Like, people are not realizing that they got a Josh Allen too, who gets busy.
It's no surprise who are the worst offenses in football: the Bears, Steelers, Panthers, Texans, and Seahawks. Just all terrible. Absolutely terrible. Doesn't surprise me. Defense, who... No, we don't. We care about points. We don't care about yardage. The Bucks leading the league in defense. Big fucking surprise. Dude, they're under 10 points a game they're allowing. This is historic. Like, you just don't do that in the NFL, especially this era that's built to score. This is retarded what they're doing.
Geared towards putting it in the air.
And they just, they held Aaron Rodgers to 14 points
They did.
in that offense.
Even though, I mean,
The Broncos,
who would have Vita Vea going into coverage and goal line, right? And then causing the fumble, like, that just changed the game.
Yes.
That fumble changed the game.
yeah, see, they ain't think it was coming.
Yeah.
Todd Smoker Bowles.
It was crazy.
The Denver Broncos, surprisingly, second best defense in football, considering that their offense has done absolutely nothing this entire year.
Mm-hmm.
So they're playing really well. But everyone else is Jacksonville, Buffalo, the Eagles, Cowboys. The Bengals are playing really well on defense, score-wise. They have a really good secondary. We already talked about that.
Hendrickson finally showed up.
Surprisingly, the Lions have the worst defense in football. 31 points a game they're giving up. And all of their games have been shootouts.
And they're young. I mean, I do like players in different phases. Like, I like Jeff Okudah at corner. They got the rookie Hutchinson out of Michigan. Who they have at linebacker?
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty solid. It's just like 31 points a game is terrible. That's a lot of points. The Cardinals' defense is terrible, but the Chargers' defense is the third worst defense in football. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's one of those defenses that gives up a lot of points, but then gets like turnovers and sacks. So, like, fantasy-wise, they give you points, but they're actually losing football games. They also just got absolutely smacked by the Jags. Then everyone else who's terrible on defense makes sense, like the Ravens and the Commanders, the Jets, all god-awful.
But you would think that the Commanders, with all those former Alabama defenses.
I mean, if Carson Wentz is giving you short fields and whatnot all the time and taking 9 sacks in a game.
And also, where's Chase Young? Chase Young gonna hit the field again?
I don't know. We'll see. He probably hates Carson. It'd be hilarious if he did. Like, I ain't playing with this motherfucker on the field, yo. Thursday night football, Dolphins going to Cincinnati, so the weather's not going to be that big of a factor. There's possible rain, but who fucking cares? I already told you, short week for the Dolphins. I think they might be a little bit gassed after the last 2 weeks of football, and the Bengals are on the proper trajectory. And I'm telling you, that Tua hit, I've had multiple concussions. The one that he took was the one that hurt the most on a football field. The collision ones were different.
Yeah, he hit the back of the dome.
I played, I played on one of those hybrid baseball football fields, and it was on the infield that I backed my head, and it was instant.
And the fact that they try to claim that it was from his back when he clearly collapsed. You don't do that if that's your back, baby. Like, that's just not it. That's not it.
Yeah, I'm looking for the Bengals to get this when they're wearing their all-white Bengals uniforms, including the all-white helmet.
Okay.
And I think they're going to paint the end zones white stripe too, which would probably be cool. The crowd it's got to be a white out. It's going to be cool. Good atmosphere. Thursday night football games have been good this year.
Tigres Blanco.
Yeah, all the Thursday night games have been solid wins. Shout out to Amazon for getting that Thursday night football money and demanding good games. So you can also watch Thursday night football on Twitch, dude, for free. No, you can just download it. It's just like YouTube. It's just where people play video games and shit.
What?
So, yeah, you can watch Thursday night football for free.
On Twitch?
Yeah, so you don't have to have Amazon to watch Thursday night football. You watch it on Twitch. They have their own Twitch channel. Just watch it. Dude, it's cool.
All right, well, done deal.
It's just if you watch it on Amazon has they call it like the field pass or whatever, and they have like, it looks like they're playing Madden. Like the players, whoever has the ball, there's like a red circle around while they're running, and they have like players' names and shit by them. I'm not watching it like that.
With all that Amazon money, they better give me some extra effects if you know what I'm saying. They making me get Prime.
It makes sense if you're a in-game prop bettor or like a daily fantasy player, because you can actually track who's on the field and shit because you see their names and whatnot. It works.
Like the stock market, you know what I'm saying?
It works. Pats at Packers. Yeah, whatever. Packers are going to dominate this game. It's in Green Bay too. The Patriots just lost Mac Jones. It's a wrap.
So Brian Hoyer is the official starter now.
Pretty much. I would look for Damian Harris to get a lot of action.
Looking for that too.
And then Brian Hoyer has not been working out with this stable of number 3 wide receivers that we have. So I would look for Hunter Henry to finally show up this year, possibly. But yeah, we're gonna suck. The Pack.
What's Cam Newton up to?
Shut up. We're not that desperate. I'll go with Brian Hoyer, and we'll get like C.J. Stroud or something next year.
Damn.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah, we're not that low, homie. We'll go get Cooper Rush from the Cowboys. He's undefeated as a starter.
From MVP to no TV.
It happens. Packers in a rout, 100%. Look for like Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon to have big numbers because they're just going to bleed the clock and run the ball on. So, Vikings and Saints. This is the type of game that Captain Kirk loses.
Yeah. Where they playing?
New Orleans. It's in the dome though, so no issues.
Yeah, but New Orleans, the Mercedes Dome, it gets loud. It gets. New Orleans fans turn up. It's just what Jameis are we gonna get? Which crab legs we gonna get this week? We gonna get the buttered crab legs, or we gonna get the fried crab legs? I don't know which one.
I think the Saints might pull this one off because the Vikings defense isn't very good, and Chris Olave has been getting a lot of targets and producing.
Getting busy, I think.
You got
between him and Drake London, who are leading rookie wide receivers.
Yeah, Michael Thomas is being productive as always. He said the Saints game is in London, so. Oh yeah, it says 9:30 a.m. So I'm going with the Vikings because Captain Kirk is a professional and Jameis Winston isn't. They're traveling to London. This guy's going to he's not going to be able to control himself over there, son.
What are we doing? Like eating bangers and mash and like 2 o'clock in the morning? What? What are we doing?
It was crab legs at 2 a.m. in Florida. He's going to be stealing biscuits and tea at 3 a.m. in London somewhere in a bad neighborhood.
Oh, man. You can turn up in Brixton. Brixton is legit.
No, but seriously, traveling over there, I look for the Saints organization. The Vikings with Captain Kirk to be a little bit more stable with the travel and the experience and take it more professionally.
Interesting take. Okay.
It's a 9 a.m. game, too. Crab Legs going to be. It's this cereal and cartoons time, son. You can't be playing football this early in the morning.
What's up with Alvin Kamara? Is he all right? He playing?
That's another thing. If he's playing, it changes things for them completely.
Yes.
I don't know.
Man, they love football over there. Like that stadium gets cracked.
Captain Kirk, he's got the typical white guy haircut too. He'll probably have his polo shirt tucked in. He can walk around London.
Yeah, he'll be wearing canvas boat shoes.
Yeah, Kerry, he could walk around London and no one will know. No one will believe he's on any NFL team.
Absolutely no. They'll think he's a sailor of some sort.
It'll be like John Stockton at for the Dream Team when he was just like no one knew he was on the Dream Team.
Like he used to be a manager at Abercrombie and Fitch.
100%. So this one, since Alvin Kamara is so important, is a game time decision for me to see who is healthy, who isn't. Browns at Falcons, no Myles Garrett. I'm actually going to go with the Falcons because they're going with Kyle Pitts finally woke up. Drake London has been beasting. Cordell or Patterson.
Best wide receiver to running back conversion ever in the history of the league, bar none. Fight me. I will win.
147 yards this week.
Yo, that is the craziest wide receiver to running back conversion you've ever seen.
Ever.
Bar none.
Incredible that somebody's
Starting running back in the league. It's crazy.
yeah, and dominating.
And dominating. And it's like 8th, 9th year. It's crazy. He found his true position mad late in his career.
Good for him though.
Good for him. No, that's dope. That's dope.
And also
Marcus Mariota, low key, is having an all right season.
and fantasy wise, their defense also scores points. So
Yeah.
I'm looking.
Linebacker Williams, I think his name is, who's getting busy.
Yeah, so I'm looking for with the Myles Garrett injury to bank on the effect being too much, and then the Browns.
That game? Where's he playing?
Atlanta. It's on the fast turf down there. It's just the conditions are right for it, and I think Atlanta is actually this current roster for Cleveland. Atlanta is actually a better roster.
I actually think so too. And even though we love briskets, yes, I feel like Marcus Mariota is a better leader of an offense.
He's also way more athletic.
Way
And
more athletic.
He will, make explosive plays to where Briskets isn't. Although I will say, and he did have a throw in this last game that Amari Cooper didn't catch because it almost went through his chest.
Oh yeah, no, that was a fireball. I know which missile you're talking about.
I was just like,
He also ran the ball one time and he got super crunk, and I give him that. But
no, I know, Kerry. I'm just thought to myself, I was just like, I have watched so many. He started New England games. I have seen this guy play a lot. I have never seen that arm before. Why didn't he do that?
Right, I've never seen him do that. That was
a
surprise to everybody. Anyone knew he could do that.
Dude, you saw it, but you also heard it.
Hmm?
Like the sound it made, I was like, oh, that's different.
He let that shit rip.
Oh, so I was like, dude, do that.
So he has it in him.
See, that's how conservative he is. That's what I'm saying about him.
He's too up in here.
Commanders at Cowboys. I just want Cooper Rush to keep winning so the quarterback controversy engulfs Dallas. It'll be hilarious. And plus, Carson Wentz is going to Carson Wentz. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, listen, Philly just got to you 9 times. You saw what Dallas just did to the Chiefs.
I'm actually saying Micah Parsons is going to beat the Commanders by himself.
That's what I'm saying. The defense is going to win it.
That's why I said it looked like this is what I'm envisioning now. This is an LT factor where you're just like, this one guy can literally win a game by himself.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Stupid.
And he's not stuck being inside like Aaron Donald is, where he can be absorbed by 4 blockers at all times, which still affects the game in a mega way.
Over the place, just like LT did.
Yeah, he's getting so many pressures, it's retarded. And now you're getting inside the head of the quarterback, who's like, oh, this motherfucker's coming somewhere. Like, it's really impressive. I hate that he plays for the Cowboys because I fucking hate the Cowboys. But it's Carson Wentz. Micah Parsons might have 5 sacks on his own.
Yeah.
Seahawks at Lions. The Lions better win this game.
They have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gino going to Gino. Dude, he did what he always does. The Seahawks are in the game late, and then on the fourth quarter drive at the end of the game to either tie or go ahead, Gino throws a pick. And it's a bad pick. It was just like, see, this is, if you guys didn't watch him in college, I saw 4 years of this at WVU. This is what he does. He can really play, but when it matters the most, he always makes a terrible decision.
That remind you of Tony Romo.
Yeah, I could see that. So yeah, the Lions better win this game. Titans at Colts. This one's a toss-up, dude.
This is great, though. we get to see King Henry, Jonathan Taylor, the same game with two quarterbacks who toss them up. I mean, they're about the same. You know what I mean?
Wide receiver cores.
Ice cream would win a game like this against Tannehill.
Wide receiver cores are pretty much even.
Yeah.
Defenses are pretty much even. The Colts defense hasn't been that good this year. So it comes down to, because Jonathan Taylor had 22 carries last week, it's not a surprise he gets over 20 carries and the Colts get a W even against the Chiefs team that they weren't supposed to beat. Where in the week before he had 9. And they get blown out. See, you have to funnel the offense through him. I don't care who you are. And then Derrick Henry wakes up with his first explosive game of the year. And it was odd because he only had 85 yards rushing, but he had almost 70 yards receiving.
Yeah.
He was catching the ball and getting busy. So I was just like, that's new from him.
Well, yeah. I mean, also when you lose an A.J. Brown, he has to get it.
Yeah, exactly.
There, Robert Woods actually led finally for the first time the receiving core, which he should be the lead receiver for them. As they're bringing their rookies along very slowly. I don't know, Treylon Burks is not getting a ton of opportunities, and then they have another rookie receiver that they like. But yeah, they're just
Bears at Giants.
you know how to.
I trust Danny Dumbles to give this game away. They shouldn't lose this game, but we've seen this movie before. We've seen this.
Like an Eddie Jackson last-second interception.
We've seen this before many times.
I know.
Many times. So this will be interesting because, the Giants start out 2-0, and if they start to lose because of Danny Dumbles, this is literally because of him that they're taking L's right now. Then it's just like definitely looking for a quarterback next year somehow. No, I know you're looking forward to it.
Will Levis out of University of Kentucky needs to be the next Giants quarterback. Said it before, I'll say it again.
Well, I mean, the good thing is Russ. The good thing is Russ looks. We don't know what the hell happened to Russ, so you didn't fall into that. Didn't happen to you guys, giving him like $300 million to get that out of him. It's a good thing.
This is true. I think they'll figure that out. They have the worst coach. That Hackett cat is terrible.
So they brought in a game manager coach onto the staff who
had to, because whatever Hackett was doing was the worst.
So he had all calls were to him, so he's calling plays as an offensive coordinator and managing the game also. So that's too much. Absolutely too much. So typically in the NFL, if you guys don't know, the special teams coach is going to be your game management coach because they are usually in game management scenarios with time and distance. That's what they deal in special teams. So they will be the ones to be like, we've got this much time before, we need this much time left to kick a field goal, and we need to reach this yardage to even have a shot. Things like this. Or we've only got enough time for this many plays. They're going to be telling the coach, you've got this idiot in 24 seconds trying to pick a play in crunch time and make game management decisions of might be able to get one more play off of, can we spike it? Like all these decisions you have to make like this.
Let's kick a 64-yard field goal. That seems like a good idea right now.
So they brought in a game management coach to lighten the loads. So we'll see how that goes. Russ did look good at the end of the game when he was on the move.
It was more Russ.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he needs to get back to what he does. Like, that's what I'm saying. They're trying to, he's like out of sorts right now. When Russ does what he does, get out of the pocket, creates more time, and runs and becomes that running threat too.
So we've seen this a million times over our NFL fandom where a offensive coordinator who happens to be blessed by having an all-time great quarterback gets head coaching gigs because everyone thought that their offense was really good, and it's just like, well, no, you have that guy running it. It doesn't really matter what you do because he makes the calls. Peyton Manning birthed how many head coaching gigs?
Exactly. Come on, man.
You know, so Nathaniel Hackett underneath of Aaron Rodgers for what, a year?
Yeah.
It wasn't even long. It wasn't like, you know, and they have a good offense, and it's
That
just
was Aaron's offense. Like Aaron did what he does.
with Devontae Adams.
Tried to get too smart with him, it failed. When they let Aaron do what he does, bang, NFC Championship.
Same thing with Tom in the Super Bowl year. Stop trying to force Tom to run this Arians offense and let him do what he's comfortable with, and then all of a sudden they win a Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Game of the week, and I didn't think I would ever be saying this. Jags at Eagles, game of the week by far.
It's gonna be a hell of a game.
Yes.
Now, see, now this is where I'm talking like Doug Peterson. Where's the game? Is it in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Okay. Going back to fella, giving them their chip, they better give him respect.
There,
He's
it's.
who got it done for them.
They won't. They are going to boo him.
Do because that's what they doing, fella. Horse fan base right next to the Dallas. Anyway,
Both teams are healthy, dude. This is going to be a good, really, really good game.
and like people will actually get to see what this Jaguars defense looks like.
Yeah,
People don't know. They don't know what this Jaguars team is because no one sees them.
yeah.
But,
Jags are getting 6.5.
wow.
Yeah, so
Wow. See, look at that.
that lets you know. See, every time you see when the books will put up a line, that lets you know exactly the game is now going to play out in one of two scenarios, and you just have to pick the right one. So you see 6.5. That's usually Eagles win or Jags win, but don't cover.
Right.
You know, they might win by 3 or 4 or something. It's just like that way Vegas gets all of their money
Right.
because the money's going to be on the Eagles because they have absolutely dominated. And
And they're at home.
they're at home, and it's the Jags. In everybody's mind, it's going to be saying Jacksonville, Jacksonville. And they're not, if you haven't seen it,
Nah, they not no rollover Jacksonville Jaguars squad.
this is a real football team. D. Evans, your fan base is the absolute worst in all of sports. They booed Santa Claus on Christmas, homie. What in the world? They throw batteries. No, that was Cleveland, wasn't it?
No, that was them.
Oh, yeah.
Throw balls with batteries.
Yeah, yeah. See, they boo everybody. They booed Donovan McNabb. That guy took you to...
This dude threw up on a Mets fan. There was a father and a daughter. A daughter. And he forced himself to throw up on him. Disgusting bastard.
Yeah, disgusting. Your fan base is toxic as shit, but that's the appeal of it. Just like Buffalo's fan base, the appeal of it is they are absolutely rabid.
They are. No, they are. They are frothing at the mouth.
Yeah. You know, and Patriots fans are just snobby, uppity.
Hey, remember that time Tom won it in 2007? Remember that time?
And 9 and 11 and
Right.
13. Yeah, see, like we can do that though. See, this is why I said I don't care if we're terrible for the rest of my life. We won so many Super Bowls, and 3 of them why I lived there. Are you fucking kidding me?
And you survived.
Yeah.
That's an accomplishment.
And 2 Super Bowl losses why I lived in New York as a Giants fan. Yeah, not good times. Jets at Steelers. This is going to be an ugly football game.
That's going to be hilarious, bowl.
Definitely bet the under on this one. The over-under is 40.5. I'm taking the under on that one.
Rita is still starting, right?
Yeah, terrible. Flacco and Mitch.
Oh, Mazda Mitch? Yeah. Yeah.
Minka might be out too. In Pittsburgh, but Minka might be out because he caught a Nick Chubb knee to the side of the head and has a concussion and might miss it. If he's out, then actually go with the Jets. Because Flacco, being a former Raven Super Bowl champion, does have personal hatred for the Steelers. This may play into it. So, and they just don't look good, and
That's good.
they need to lose so that Kenny Pickett gets on the field. So I just want the Steelers to lose.
This is very good. Yeah, Jets might not be a bad to get on.
Yeah, especially Pittsburgh's given 3.5, so you're getting Jets plus 3.5. Are you serious?
But if Omar Epps keeps losing early, he will somehow find the juice.
Yeah, because you're going to switch to Kenny Pickett and they're going to go on a run. Bills at Ravens. This is going to be interesting because the Ravens have the worst pass defense in football by a mile. Dude, they're giving up like 370 yards a game or something stupid.
Corners, Mo, Humphreys and
They just suck. They're just getting torched, dude. And I think Josh Allen is going to come out on a mission this week.
yeah.
Yeah, so
He has the eye of the tiger, which are flames.
oh,
Oh yeah.
look for McKenzie to probably sneak into the end zone
Yeah.
with so much focus on Diggs and whatnot.
Sure.
Chargers at Texans. Oh man, this might be the game the Texans finally win because the Chargers are so banged up, dude. I just can't do it though. I'm going with Herbie's.
Chargers at Texas.
Yeah. The Texans offense is so terrible. I don't look at statistically the Chargers having that horrible defense statistically because you have to look at the teams they've also played already.
I'm also thinking no Joey Bosa. No, I gotta weigh things out. Lovie Smith versus this other head coach.
Is Damian Pierce going to be the starter, or do those two fumbles mean Rex Burkhead is now getting the bulk of the carries?
He's a young cat. He must learn. I don't know. Lovey's an old school coach. Listen, if you could have Grossman as your quarterback, throw 6 interceptions and not pull him out, I say he gives Pierce another shot.
Of course. He's also on the bench on one of my fantasy squads, so yeah, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Cardinals at Panthers. The Cardinals are terrible, and the Panthers' defense is good. It's also going to be a sloppy game in Carolina, hurricane conditions. This is the type of game that Baker Mayfield wins because it's an ugly quarterback play.
Oh yeah, and also it takes away one of Kyler's main attributes.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to just jitterbug everywhere. There's no footing. So I'm actually going to pick, right now, I'm going with the Panthers. This might be a game time decision based on weather for the game, because if it's not as bad as it could be, given the fact there's a fucking hurricane coming.
And are they keeping the game there, or are they moving the game? Because I know they were.
No, this one's going to stay.
Okay.
They think that it's going to be played and over by the time that it gets bad in the Carolinas. It's also North Carolina, not South Carolina. It's supposed to hit South Carolina around 8 p.m., it said. Hurricanes also unpredictable. Tampa already evacuated. They're looking to play in Tennessee, Minnesota, somewhere neutral that they can get in. We'll see. It's a game time decision for me, but if it's raining, I'm going with the Panthers because Kyler won't be able to run around, and they don't have anybody to throw it to already. Broncos and Raiders, this is the toilet bowl. This is two of the worst performing teams in football, although the Broncos are 2-1.
Shit rival.
I'm actually going with the Raiders because I cannot fathom them starting 0-4. I can't see it happen. I cannot see you adding Chandler Jones and Devontae Adams to a playoff team and you start 0-4.
What has Chandler Jones done?
Nothing.
0.
Nothing.
Oh, and where's this game?
Vegas. I just can't see him starting 0-4.
A young Broncos team to Vegas.
Yeah, but Russ is Russ.
Russ is Russ. Russ is going to be in the chapel somewhere.
Although Sierra might have a headlining gig at one of the casinos. So.
Right.
I'm going with I just can't. I can't see with that. I can't see them losing to this terrible football team.
No.
But
the Denver team is young, and they're going to be big.
But I also have Javonte Williams on my NFL fantasy squad. So let's get busy, Denver. Give him touches. Chiefs at Bucks for Thursday night or Sunday night football. The Bucks are banged up galore. It's going to be a low-scoring affair just because the Bucks know how to play Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs' offense, and that defense is incredible. The Bucks' offense is not better than the Chiefs' defense right now.
You believe in the Chiefs, dude?
No, I just don't believe in the Bucks' offense at all. Dude, they're averaging less.
Offense still has Tomas Brady.
I know, but they're averaging under 200 yards passing a game because there's just nobody to throw it to. I need you to be faster, more explosive. Everybody come back from the injury report.
I'm just looking at what Indianapolis was able to do with Matthew Ice Cream at quarterback. And we're talking about a Bucks defense that's better than Indy's defense right now. And you have a running back in Leonard Fournette that can give you 22 carries.
I want it to be Tom and the Bucks, and it probably will be because my football picks have been terrible this year. The over/under is 45. I definitely go with the under because the Bucks defense is.
I would go with the under. For sure, I would go with the under.
We'll see who's available for Tom to throw it to at game time, but my intuition is.
Getting Mikey Evans back.
This is true, and Tom typically starting out 2-2 is nothing foreign to him. It's happened numerous times, so if they lose, I wouldn't be surprised.
Mike Evans should have 10 to 12 targets.
Cole Beasley should get some numbers too because now he's not going to be the focus of the offense.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football, Rams at Niners. Niners are terrible. They're terrible. The Rams aren't. The Niners are terrible. Jalen Ramsey's going to cover Debo. So Brandon Ayuk might get busy. I'm sure George Kittle's going to play, but dude, they just got held to 10 points by the fucking Broncos. They look terrible.
I mean, the Broncos defense.
No, I know it's not, but the Rams are at the same level defensively, and they have Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. And your boy Allen Robinson's starting to get, worked into the offense a little bit, as is Higbee, because you can't just give Cooper Kupp 80 fucking attempts a game. So I'm going with the Rams, homie. Zoom is telling me that we are done, so I am done. Yeah, I'm one game under 500 in the picks, but fantasy-wise, 2 victories this week. 2 big ones. We're both, you're actually into 3rd place in the NFL, so you're in the playoff seeding right now. I'm in 4th in my league, but we're both 2-1. I will be 3-1 next week in that one. It's a cakewalk, and I'm the only undefeated team in the 3-3-3 fantasy right now.
Right now, it's a long season. Bro.
Yeah, but my roster is built to win, so.
Hey, until it is.
All right, we'll see. All right, everybody. I will see you guys Friday at 9 o'clock for our Book of Heroin celebration. We're going to do something. I'm not real sure what the hell we're going to do, but we're going to do something to celebrate the end of the journey. I promise.